reimburse the bank for that 6 months as well. So basically, there's no losers on either side. And I'll be happy to bring in any questions that I can.
Questions for the witness? Seeing none.
I can answer those questions.
Okay. Those are easy, thank you. Next.
Matthew, review of Missouri County Bankers Association. We are for this bill. We appreciate all the work everybody's putting on it. Thank you.
I have a question. Did Mr. Sage come with you?
He will be coming tomorrow.
Okay, very good.
Fair warning.
Thank you. Next.
David Dent from Missouri Credit Union Association, just want to go right there because also support you.
Questions for the witness? Seeing none. Nice and I'll agree all work all this out before time. Thank you. Anybody else like to speak in favor of Senate Bill 913? Anyone speak against? Informational purposes only. That will close the hearing on Senate Bill 913.
Next. Oh, I'm sorry, Sater's next. That's right. Yeah. Do that. Sorry, go ahead. That's all right. Senator Sater to introduce Senate Bill 942.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, I'm Senator David Sater from the 29th District. I'm bringing to you today Senate Bill 942. This bill has to do with, there's three entities involved. One is hospital pharmacies, which are owned and operated by a hospital. Two, the Department of Health and Senior Services. And three, the State Board of Pharmacy. All three of these entities have been working to get a bill together that addresses hospital pharmacies. And so what has come up is that the Department of Health and Senior Services, they inspect hospitals for compliance and congregate rules. And the Board of Pharmacy inspects pharmacies, both retail and also hospital pharmacies. So there's a little bit of jurisdiction problem here. And so what has happened is that the Board of Pharmacy and the Department of Health and Senior Services will jointly promulgate rules for the inspection of hospital pharmacies. Now, this does not deny the Board of Pharmacy from having the right to go into a hospital pharmacy at any time, and if they've got a complaint or just a regular inspection. But it will just get kind of people on the same playing field. There's some other aspects of the bill. This is medication therapy management that the pharmacist, the hospital pharmacist has to have a certificate to be able to do these inspections. But I'll be glad to answer any questions, and I think I'll probably have a couple of witnesses.
So I'm maybe a little lost here, but basically there's no entity over this now, is that kind of?
Yes, the Board of Pharmacy is over the hospital pharmacies. But the Department of Health and Senior Services, who inspects hospitals in general, needs to have also, I think they're going to have a say in rules promulgated for hospital pharmacies. Okay?
You don't see this as one of those deals where the Board of Healing Arts and the Board of Nursing can never promulgate rules together. You don't see it one
There's
way.
nothing in that at all. Has nothing to do with it at all.
Okay, any questions for the sponsor? Yes, sir.
And maybe this will be someone coming behind you with a better answer than they can be thinking about this, if that's true. So we set up a Class B hospital pharmacy, and it says this section shall not be construed to require a Class B hospital pharmacy permit or license. So they don't have to have it.
They have to have a pharmacy license from the state board presently.
Okay.
But this would go to a Class B hospital pharmacy.
So it'll be a second classification.
Yes. And the pharmacy permit would come to needed from the Board of Pharmacy.
But they could get a Class B pharmacy permit if they wanted to. And then and we're giving them kind of a grandfather.
Yes, there's no fee or anything. More than one license to another kind.
Thank you.
Any other questions for the sponsor? Thank you. Anyone to testify in favor of Senate Bill 955? Welcome.
Well, Mr. Chair, and members of the committee. Kimberly Brinson, Executive Director for the Board of Pharmacy. It's been a long day, so just a couple of things. As you know, the Board of Pharmacy regulates the practice of pharmacy in the state of Missouri. Some years ago, we were sued, and our jurisdiction over hospital pharmacy was challenged in a court case. Since that time, the Board of Pharmacy has had questionable jurisdiction over hospital pharmacy. Senator Sater is correct. We license and regulate all of the pharmacists and also the pharmacy technicians. But we've had dual areas of regulation between us and the Department of Health. Over the years, we've gotten just a series of questions about whose law controls, whose law do we follow. We've had a weird distinction between inpatient and outpatient. The rule has generally been if it's inpatient, the Department of Health regulates it. If it's outpatient, the Board of Pharmacy regulates it. Well, as pharmacy evolves, medicine has evolved. That concept of inpatient versus outpatient has changed, and those lines have blurred. And so we find hospitals, pharmacists, pharmacy technicians in a weird conundrum where we just don't understand whose law they're supposed to follow. We have an excellent relationship with the Department of Health, and we've been able to informally come together to sort of eliminate that confusion and lack of consistency. I think about a year and a half ago, the board was approached to formalize what we do now, and that is work with the Department of Health in regulating and or watching the jurisdiction of the hospital pharmacies. And so we brought together a work group of the Hospital Association, the Missouri Society of Health System Pharmacists. We brought pharmacists to the table. We brought pharmacy directors to the table. We brought big hospital pharmacies and small hospital pharmacies because we wanted to hear from everyone. We brought everyone to the table and we said, what is confusing? What do you need us to fix? They gave us a list, and that's the proposal that you see in front of you. I think this bill will do something novel. It will eliminate duplicate regulation and also clarify who has jurisdiction and what laws apply.
What will be novel about it is if the two boards get along, because I don't see that very often. There won't be any turf battles here. You won't be coming back to me saying, oh, those bad people.
No, we've actually worked with the Department of Health for years. Every time we have an issue where this questions come up, we sit down, we issue joint guidance statements. We actually have worked with them on the hospital rules. They have a set of rules going through review right now. The Board of Pharmacy is at the table, and they've been at our board meeting, and we've been at their offices. So we've worked very well over the last several years, and I anticipate that will continue.
My experience with you has been that you're pretty capable, so I will stop asking those questions. Anyone else that have a question for this witness? All right, thank you very much. Anyone else to testify in favor?
Good afternoon. I'm Dean Lemon with the Department of Health and Senior Services, and just basically like to offer support for this and let you know that the process that Kim just described has been going on for quite a while, and we do believe that we work very well with the Board of Pharmacy. So we're in support. You can answer any questions.
All right. I will remind both of you that if you ever come back in here,
Mr. Chairman, David Wenton here on behalf of DJC Health and Cox Health, and we're really excited about the partnership between these two entities and very supportive of the bill.
okay, questions from the witness? Thank you. You did leave a witness form, or you got one? Okay.
Mr. Chairman, we are always in Missouri Pharmacy Association. We are always in support of the bill that clarifies who has jurisdiction over who. One thing I hear from providers is they told me one thing and they told me something different, and making sure that this will be better.
Okay, questions from the witness? Thank you. Anyone else?
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Captain Martin is here today on behalf of St. Louis Health System, Kansas City, and we would like to go on record.
Thank you. Any questions? Thank you. Next, we have a procession of Me Too's. Let's go.
Blackstown, Missouri Hospital Association, support the bill.
Thank you. Any questions? Thank you. Anyone else to testify in favor of this wonderful, everybody come together, kumbaya, Senate Bill 942? How about anybody testify against? Oh, he's got nerve enough to get up. Okay, we're not kumbaya anymore.
Sure we are. This isn't that bad. And Sharon Holler, Missouri State Medical Association. Personally, just a couple small things with this bill. Personally, physicians are more licensed professionals that can enter protocols with pharmacists to do medication therapy. And part of this bill, a very small sentence states that they will open this up to hospital medical staff committees. But they will also be able to enter protocols. One of our concerns is that physicians right now have this very strict set of requirements in those protocols that the physician pharmacists can do. We'd like to make sure that those requirements are also applied to any protocols that the medical staff would enter into. Further, we would like to make sure that any protocols or any prescriptive orders through the medical staff protocols will not be boilerplate for any patient in the hospital that might have diabetes. They shouldn't all be treated the same and have the same therapy, medication therapy. Each patient is individual, so we'd like to make sure that the hospital is in the hospital actually makes that prescriptive order. I think these are probably things that weren't in the intent of the bill, but obviously, we'll obviously work with them to find some common language. So I'll answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for the witness? Have you spoken about any of these changes to our Kumbaya Senator? Does our Kumbaya Senator have any interest in any of those changes? Would he might consider some of them?
We might consider some of them, yes.
Okay.
I have a lot of entities involved here, so we've got.
Okay. All right, thank you. Anyone else to testify against? Seeing none, anyone to testify for informational purposes only? Seeing none, closes the hearing on Senate Bill 942. That will bring up Senator Sifton for Senate Bill 986. Folks, we are closing in, and nobody thought we could do these 10 bills in one day.
Chairman, I would like to miss it quick. Scott Sifton of the First Senate District, here to testify on behalf of Senate Bill 986. I have a substitute that's been distributed, one of those things, we put this together a day or two before the last day for filing the bills, and we changed 2 words in statute, and believe it or not, we got one of them wrong. So this bill cuts the number of Missouri Human Rights Commissioners from 11 to 9. We currently have 4 vacancies on the existing 11 seats. Another term expires tomorrow. Cutting it to 9 would allow us to simply have 1 commissioner from each of the 8 congressional districts plus 1 at large. Currently, it's 1 from each of the 8 plus 3 at large. We seem to have more seats than we have commissioners, so my view is we ought to just decrease the number of commissioners slightly. They hear approximately 1,300 employment claims, maybe fewer than 200 accommodation and housing claims a year that they look through. When the work that we messed up, with it going down to 9 to have 1 vote majority from either party would be 5. We drafted 4, and nothing against the Green Party, the Constitutional Party, the Libertarians, but I think 5 is a better number than 4 for maximum number from either party. With that, I'll yield any questions.
Any questions for the sponsor?
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
On the summary, I think it was the numbers are transposed, because it says the act decrease the number of the membership from 9 to 11. You're really going from 11 to 9, and then no more than 5 from one political party.
Yes.
Okay.
You got a 50-50 chance to get it right and get it wrong again.
I tell you what, I didn't like the summary, I can say that much. I need to hold on to the.
Any other
It's
questions?
100% wrong.
Yeah.
Where you're coming from.
I mean, we could do 4, there's nothing wrong with it, just, you have.
I assume that your theory, as we discussed on Bill earlier, is the 9 congressional committees does not deplete. I don't really know how else to do it and get good representation, and that seems to make sense to me.
As of tomorrow, between the vacant slots and the people serving over their term, there will be 5 out of the 11.
And it's kind of the same old problem we're having with a lot of committees, and anything we can do to make it a little easier for somebody to serve on a little bit, I'm all for it, because, sometimes people don't look at these committees as important, but for instance, like the one we discussed earlier, people's way of making a living are at stake. You know, I mean, that's, okay, and no other, yes.
Are the people just not qualified, or people just don't want to serve, do you think, Senator, or the governor just behind appointing, or?
You know, I would say, I'm sure it probably takes a special kind of person to want to do this. That said, 6 million Missourians, you'd think you might be able to come up with more than 6 to serve. So I mean, I can't speak to why we have that many vacancies right now. I think to the chairman's point that this is probably not the only commission for which that's the case. I just think that while we're sort of under, we have fewer commissioners than we have slots, this might be a good time to just, reduce it in size by 2.
Any other questions? Okay, anyone to testify in favor of Senate Bill 986? Seeing none. Anyone to testify against Senate Bill 986? Don't you dare. Seeing none. Anyone to testify for informational purposes only on Senate Bill 986? Seeing none, we'll close the hearing on 986. I really appreciate everybody out there, and particularly the committee's tolerance today. 10 bills in one day is quite a load, but we've got a memorial service coming up in 2 weeks in Easter, so we're going to miss a lot of time, and I really want to push as much as we can. Thank you very much. We are adjourned.